Shalom, shalom, Yisrael. This is July 19th, what they call 2020. Yehonatan Da, we with you here, Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com. Humbly come before you again with another message. And one of the things I like about the channel is that I don't have to rush. I just got finished doing the broadcast, and sometimes the timing is not right, and I have to rush at the end. But now I'll be able to take my time as you join in with me with today's segment, Halome Khokmaw. Halome Khokmaw. Here is wisdom. Here is wisdom. Now, hopefully my allergies don't keep acting up. I know a few weeks ago and even last week, my allergies were acting up. I have my window over here. I like fresh air, but then my allergies act up and I keep rubbing my nose and my face sometimes. I don't have a cold. I'm not sick. It's just that it's allergies. So we begin with Bereshit. That's a good place to begin, isn't it? Bereshit bara Elohim at ha-mashayim wa at ha-eretz. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. So two things we're talking about here is wisdom. But two things are clear and evident in the very beginning, and that is you have a creator and you have what is not the creator. That's what we see right here. There's separation. I'm going to start off, this is KISS. Keep it simple, saints. KISS, all right? What is Elohim and what is not Elohim is what we see in Bereshit 1:1. Now, the thing about keeping it simple is that parents cannot explain everything to their little toddlers and their little children when they're giving them instructions. If you give them instructions, you are giving them details that they can understand. What happens is you tell your children something, and this fosters a love and trust. And the maturation of the relationship between parent and child will bring in more instructions and more details of the instructions. But there first had to be say, do. Say, do. If you tell your children, okay, it's time to eat, go wash your hands, you cannot, then they say why. So you're going to go ahead and explain everything about bacteria, germs, and viruses before they wash their hands to eat. They're going to command you to explain to them the details of why they have to wash their hands. If you tell them it's time to go to sleep now, they're going to say, I'm not going to sleep until you explain to me the needs of my growing body for rest. If you tell them they have to eat their vegetables, are they going to wait and they demand of you that you explain vitamins and minerals and nutrients that their body needs before they eat? You're not going to do all that. Because if you do all that, what you're doing is fostering a relationship where you speak, they question, you answer, get the details, then they do. Well, that can work sometime, and it's appropriate sometimes. Because if you tell Johnny to wash his hands before he eats, while he's washing his hands, you can explain, hey, listen, you got dirt in there on your nails and everything, and that dirt gets into your mouth and your body, you can get sick, so you need to wash your hands. You can do that. That's okay sometimes. But if this is the modus operandi, if this is the pattern, you speak, they question, you explain, then they do, what's going to happen when there's an emergency? When little John is running out to get his ball running out into the street, and your neighbor's backing his van up to park, doesn't see your son, and you say, stop! And he's going to say, why do I have to stop? He's going to question you, and then you're going to have to explain, well, because Bill's van is backing up, and while you're explaining why he needs to stop chasing his ball in the street, your son is dead. So you see, we cannot always explain everything. That's not the way it should go. You speak, they do. In times of explanation, you can do that, but that's not all the time. And then stop this thing. I remember when this county 123 came out. You would see it on the news. You see it on all the talk shows. I think Oprah Winfrey had a guest on there, and they say, well, you give little Johnny, you count 1, 2, 3. You give them time to respond. That's one of the most stupidest things a parent can do. Because what happens on number 3, because they learn now, is to wait until 3 before they obey. They learn to wait to obey. And then, so what happens after 3, they get a little older and they challenge you. We're going to count to 4, 5, and 6. And then as you get older, you're going to go 10, 11, 12. So then, while your daughter's in the car and not coming to the house, oh, don't worry, daddy's only on number 37. I'm up to number 45. When he counts on 45, I'll go into the house. And then eventually you'll be seeing while you're counting 44, 45, eventually you'll be seeing your son or your daughter in prison doing 10 to 5, 15 to 20. Because you're too busy counting. And you've taught them to wait until you got to that number before they obey. No, you speak, they obey. That's what's supposed to happen. And as the relationship grows and develops and as fosters trust, then you give details as needed. It happens organically over the process of time. So when Shaitan said to Eve, will you surely die? Will you Akhmut? Because you always said you will surely die. Shaitan brings in a seed of, will you Akhmut? If Yahweh says you will Akhmut, then you will Akhmut. You will surely die. But those aren't details. Shaitan brings in the details. Because in that day, when you eat of it, you will become like Yahweh, knowing Tob Wa Ra. Knowing, now that's the detail. Now that is true. Shaitan did say the truth. What he did was he added details to what Yahweh instructed. Now see what that does is, all it does is puts a wedge in there. A little wedge, it subverts the trusting relationship. It subverts the trusting immature relationship. It's an evolving, maturing relationship that's been subverted by questioning, putting in a little question of what Yahweh has said. Yahweh told them what he needed them to know. At that time, he told Adam, really. He told Eve. Let's say you're on your island, okay? You're on your island. And on your island, it's just you, your wife, you have 2 children. And all you know is Genesis 1:1. All you have, all your knowledge is Genesis 1. In the beginning, Yahweh created heaven and earth. It's on a stone somewhere. In order to verify that, in order to corroborate that knowledge, which is all the knowledge you have and all the knowledge you know, you go out and you explore your island. You look at the grass, the trees, the birds. You go out to the beach, look at the water. You take some water samples, you look at it, you examine it. All of the earth, all of that island is going to testify of Yahweh who created it. It's not going to testify of Ra or Dagon. It's not going to testify of Zeus. It's going to testify of who created it. Because Yahweh created that. You plant some seeds and grow wheat to feed your family. It's going to testify of Yahweh. It's not going to testify of some God. You have an art opening. Everyone comes to the gallery to see your artwork. Everything in there was created by you. Your signature is there. It all came from your mind, your spirit, your heart, your lab. No one's going to go in there and attribute it to your neighbor across the street. You don't go and see a Van Gogh opening and attribute it to Picasso. This, whatever comes from your hands, the work of your hands testifies of you. Yahweh says he created the heaven and earth. It testifies of him. Keep it simple, saints. Genesis 1, 3, and 4. Then Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, that it was Tob. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness. Now we see here another separation. You have light and you have darkness. Keep it simple, saints. We're talking about here is wisdom. So now we have light and darkness. What Yahweh is saying, let all of what I created be full of the knowledge of me. In my book, Original Words, Original Truth, Yahweh Shua, I'm Original Words, Original Truth, I go into detail. I have a chapter 4 says, let there be or. I go into more detail. And what or is not light that you see like you're seeing me now. That was created on the 4th day. Or is the knowledge of Yah. And what Yah is saying is, let the earth be full, let the creation be full of the knowledge of me. And let the creation, and then specifically the earth, connect to me. Let the creation be full of knowledge of me, and let the earth connect to me. That's what or is. See, whatever is outside of my substance, he's saying, with separating light and darkness, what is outside of my substance is not me. So you have order and confusion. When you have light, and I put light on in here so I can see, so I can read, and you have what is not light. So when you have light, you can order, you can see things. If you're being given instructions and directions on how to get someplace, if you can see, you know, okay, go down here, make a left, up there, make a right. If you have no light and you can't see, you're confused. You don't know which way to go. Light is knowledge. Koshet, darkness, is night. No knowledge, confusion. It is not of Yah. John 1, 1 through 5. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Eloah, and the Word was Eloah. He is in the beginning with Eloah. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light, the or of men. And the light shines in the darkness, the koshet, and the darkness did not comprehend it. So now we got, still keeping it simple, the word is light, darkness is not light. The psalmist says in 119, 105, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light to my path. When you have a lamp, you only can see a few feet in front of you. You cannot see the lion 15 meters down by the tree waiting to come and eat you. You can't see him. You have a lamp. You don't have a big stadium floodlight. And today we have so much light because of electricity. Buildings have light, the stores have light, cars driving by have light. So if you're walking about the neighborhood at night, you don't need a lamp. You don't need a flashlight. You can see. But back then, before electricity, you had an oil lamp. You can only see what was nearby you. You only saw, so Yahweh is saying, the psalmist is saying, Yahweh's word, his Dibarim, gives you enough light to see what you need to know that's in front of you. Keep it simple, saints. Yehonatan Dawit with you here, Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com. We're talking about here is wisdom. And right now, we're saying you need to keep it simple, saints, to understand wisdom. His word is light. It is knowledge. What is not light is darkness. It is confusion. And this light lights simply. Abraham didn't know everything. He had to have faith. Jacob didn't know everything about the promises. They got their promises after they went through a whole lot of struggles. Dawid was anointed king as a young boy, little lad, 15 years old maybe. 15 years later, a grown man, 30 years old, before he actually took the throne. They had the light that was needed, and they walked in that light that they had. Read Hebrews 11, all the great men and women of the book. And their faith in the word of Yahweh with the light that they had. You walk in the light step by step. Keep it simple, saints. Proverbs 1 and 7. The reverence of Yahweh is the beginning of or, the beginning of light, the beginning of knowledge. So you must first, if you want to even have a beginning of knowing anything, the very start of it is the reverence Yahweh. That's the beginning of understanding and of awareness. The beginning of knowledge is to reverence Yahweh. One step at a time. See, my children didn't question when I was teaching them the creation. Whatever I told them was what they believed. My son didn't say, nope, I just started school, I just started preschool yesterday, and Bobby, he was the best in the class in building up his blocks. He had the tallest tower. I think he created heaven and earth because he's smart. No, he didn't say that. Whatever I told my children, they believed. And this is why Yahweh Shua says in Matthew 18:3, that come to him as a child. We need to have childlike understanding to receive what Yahweh has to give us without our preconceived notions. We've always had preconceived notions. We always thought the Messiah was going to be where we thought he was going to be. He's going to come in, kill the Romans, set up his kingdom. We always want to make things the way we want to make it. Yahweh Shua says, come to me as a child. Don't come with your degrees, your master's degrees, your doctorate degrees, all your experience, all you, I know everything, and then try to receive this basic knowledge. The child will believe what the loving parent tells him or her. Psalm 19:7, the testimony makes the simple wise. And eduth is testimony. Everywhere in the scriptures where it says testimony, it talks about Yahweh Shua. If you believe in Yahweh Shua, simply, you become wise. You want wisdom? Believe in Yahweh Shua. Psalm 116:6, Yah preserves the simple. The Bible does not say the proud, those with the most master's degrees and doctorate degrees and PhDs will inherit the earth. The meek, the simple, the KISS, the kiss, the keep it simple saints will inherit the earth. Now remember, only Joshua and Caleb went into the kingdom or the promised land. Only Joshua and Caleb. All those who came out, even including Moses, none of them made it. In all their rebelliousness and their disbelief, they had to be purged. They had to have the living taken out of them. Some of them are lost. Everyone is not lost who don't make it into Zion. But some of them are. The rebels are. The rest of us, we're just going to have to learn and have the living taken out of us. We have been unfruitful in Yahweh. We have to believe him step by step and trust in him. And then we'll make it in that first resurrection. The little ones, they'll make it in who obey. But us who know it all will not make it. I showed you that in Ezekiel 20:38. Go ahead and take a time, look at Ezekiel 20:38. Those 20 and under are the only ones that make it in. Then they'll be grown up by the time they make it to Zion. We had 3.5 years to make it once that earthquake hits, the worldwide earthquake hits. We got 3.5 years to make it in. Look at some of the previous teachings on the channel. Or you can contact me at yahwehforchristians@gmail.com and get a transcript. I have transcripts I'm reading from right now that I can forward to you to your address. This thing that Ezekiel's talking about in Ezekiel 20:38 is no different from our Shemot from Misraim. When we left Egypt, it's the same thing. It parallels. They came out of Egypt. We're coming out of Babylon. That doesn't mean we're going to make it into Zion. It also doesn't mean we're lost. The rebels who are proud, who don't Shema Yahweh, who don't receive the simplicity of Yahweh, don't make it in. 2 Corinthians 11:3, Shaul was marveled. He was surprised that those that he taught the Besor message, the message of Yahweh Shua, so quickly departed from it. And he said he taught it to him simply. The message was a simple message. And they departed from it because they leavened it with details that did not come from him. Details that only confused and caused danger. Details that were deleterious to their walk with Yahweh Shua. There are two ways of knowing: commission and omission. You can learn that the stove is hot by obeying your mother and not touching it, or you can learn that it's hot by disobeying your mother and touching it. Either way, you're going to get the knowledge. Which way is the best way to understand? Which way is the best way of knowing? Do you want to know what drugs are by being a drug addict? Or do you want to know what drugs are by studying it and obeying the laws against drug use? I think you want to know drugs in the way of omission, not commission. Genesis 1:1 is really Yahweh versus God, Emet versus Sheker, truth versus lie. Yahweh says clearly in Exodus 3:15, I am Yahweh, that is my memorial name. A child will believe that. You tell your child your name, your child believes your name is your name. They don't say, no, Dad, wait a minute. No, your name is Brian Johnson. It's not Jonathan Johnson, it's Brian. I want you to be Brian Robert Johnson, not Jonathan David Johnson. The child's going to believe what you say and take that. There's no argument, don't debate. If Yahweh says, I am Yahweh, that is my name, and he says his memorial name, why are we changing? Isaiah 42:8, I am Yahweh, my kabod will I not give to another. Somebody comes to your art show, they're not going to give your kabod, your honor to someone else, your neighbor across the street, somebody down the street that you hate or who hates you. It's your work. I wrote 2 books. I'm not going to give the credit to someone else. I wrote them. Yahweh is not going to give the credit of his earth, credit of his creation to anyone else. Isaiah 42:8. Keep it simple, saints. This is being humble. This is being meek. We're talking about here is wisdom. But we got a pethe. Pethe is simple. Hebrew word for simple. Charles Spurgeon. Charles Spurgeon from 1834 to 1892, a strict Baptist, Calvinist. Obviously, I do not support Charles Spurgeon. He does not believe in the name of Yahweh and nothing like that. But in this topic of keeping it simple, and in talking about Psalm 119, how the law is the beginning of light, I want to quote from Charles Spurgeon. It's a very lengthy quote, so I'm going to edit it. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to supply the name of Yahweh, of course. But I want to get this quote from Charles Spurgeon. The entrance of thy words giveth light. No sooner do they gain admission into the soul than they enlighten it. What light may be expected from their prolonged indwelling? Their very entrance floods the mind with instruction, for they are so full, so clear. There must be such an entrance, or there will be no illumination. The words find no entrance into some minds because they are blocked up with self-conceit or prejudice or indifference. Divine illumination must surely follow upon a knowledge of the mind of Yah. Grant that thy words dispel the darkness of my mind. It giveth understanding unto the simple. Candid are the true disciples. These simple-hearted ones are frequently despised, and their simplicity has another meaning infused into it, so as to be made the theme of ridicule. Those of whom the world dub as fools are among the truly wise, and they are taught of Yah. The value of the words of Yah to the simple, who cannot receive mysterious truth unless their minds are aided to see it and prepare to grasp it. So here he and I agree. Of course, he doesn't know the name, but we agree that to even understand the beginning of what comes out of Yahweh's mouth, you must be simple. You must receive it simply. You must be humble. And then you can grasp the greater mysteries. Because I'm getting ready to go into some of the mysteries. We're going to talk about here is wisdom. The mark of the beast, the number 666. But there's no need in going there unless you first understand you must sit down, shut up, be still, be quiet, and believe that Yahweh is. That he is a rewarder of those who seek him, who seek his face. Now I'm going to give you 10 lists of things that are emphatic from Yahweh. And the numbers are estimated. 2 times he says, my hands have made. So you can't question. He said, my hands did it. 11 times he pronounces himself as Yahweh Shabbaot. Shabbaot means host. This is my house. If I have a party over, no one has a right to come in here and tell me what furniture I should have in this house, what food I should serve, how my lighting should be. No one has any. I'm the host. It's my house. This is Yahweh's creation. We have no authority to try to tell him how it should be. And 11 times he told us that. 12 times Yahweh says Yahweh created. 17 times he says Elohim created. The Torah says Elohim created. 114 times the Torah says he created heaven and earth. I think you kind of think that Yahweh created heaven and earth, not someone else. 179 times he says Elohim made. 188 times he says I am Elohim. You're not going to try to say someone else is the Almighty if he says he is. 188 times. 309 times he says I am Yahweh. He's trying to make a point here. He's got to tell you 309 times. 336 times he says Yahweh has made. And 854 times he says, thus saith Yahweh. Here in this broadcast, it's going to be about an hour long. If I say, thus saith Yehonathan Dawid 50 times, you would know, I'm letting you know I'm saying this. You probably think I'm full of myself, but Yahweh is perfect. He has a right because he alone is worthy to be praised. And he's trying to make it clear thousands of times who he is, what he's done. And we're still not getting it. We're still not getting those 8 words. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth, the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:1. We're still not getting it after all these times. After all these declarations. Keep it simple, saints. Khokmaw. Khokmaw, that's wisdom. And the root word is Khokmaw. It can be used tob or ra, good or evil. You can have wisdom on how to do bad things. Wisdom how to create weapons of destruction. Or you can have wisdom to be at peace with the earth. And this is exceeding use of knowledge. Khokmaw is exceeding skillful use of knowledge. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 2:13. Shlomo wrote Ecclesiastes after he got old. You know, when he was young, when he wrote Song of Solomon, and then he got a little bit older, he did the Proverbs. He did Ecclesiastes after he got old. So now he's got all the wisdom that he's always had once Yahweh anointed him with it. And then you marry that with wisdom, with experience, then you get the book of Ecclesiastes. And 2:13 he says, then I saw that Khokmaw, which is wisdom, excels folly, or, which is light, which is the knowledge of Yahweh, excels darkness. So he says this after he gets his experience with his wisdom. In Psalm 111:10, his father said, Dawid, the reverence of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. So the first step, you're making a step towards a destination of knowledge. The first step is to humbly reverence Yahweh. You step towards Yahweh in humbleness, like a child. Deuteronomy 4:6, therefore, for this cause, therefore, this is your wisdom. Talking about the commandments. Therefore, be careful to observe them. Talking about the commandments, for this is your wisdom. The commandments are your wisdom. there's a little detail. You don't get that detail in Genesis 1:1. Now here's a detail in Deuteronomy 4:6. The commandments are your wisdom. That is your skillful use of knowledge of Yahweh. Speak, do. Commandments, obedience. You don't run to the street. You don't get run over by a car. You don't get killed. You have long life because the authority spoke and you did it. You didn't stop. You didn't question it. Well, I don't think we need to keep the Sabbath. No, you didn't do that. He speaks, you do. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding. Shlomo didn't say wisdom, get it as you try to get it. He didn't say get it after you got your education, after you got your master's degree, after you got your doctorate. He didn't say get it if you after you've already experienced everything and you know more. He said is the principal thing, not secondary, not tertiary. Get it first so you can know something. Wisdom is used in the Torah 215 times. Light is used in the Torah 221 times. About the same amount of times each. I think that's interesting. You have commandments, wisdom. You have understanding, light. Khokmaw, or. Skillful use of knowledge, knowledge of Yahweh, understanding. We need this wisdom because it teaches how to love, how to work, how to bless, how to praise, how to worship, how to pray. Every last little simple thing, we need the knowledge of Yahweh in wisdom to do these things. Yehonatan Dawid with you here, YahwehForChristians@gmail.com. Extreme cold, there's two ways of burning. You think you just need to have hot fire? No. You put your hands on something that's 200 degrees below zero, it will burn you. 200 degrees of heat can burn you. 200 degrees of cold can burn you. Either way, you're getting burned if you put your hands on it. 666 is wisdom. It's the evil side of wisdom. It is the cold side of wisdom, whereas the positive side is the hot. Go live 13:18. Here is wisdom. I'm finally getting around to it because I just spent a lot of time and a lot of scripture, over 30 minutes, talking about how we need to approach Yahweh as a child, humbly, and receive his word simply. Like a lamp guiding our path and our feet, step by step. We only see what we need to see. We only know what we need to know. If we have an experience doing that, that fosters a relationship of love and trust and obedience, and then we grow and we learn organically. So then you learn something like this. 666. And in my first book, Yahweh for Christians, I have a chapter that the love of truth guards against deception. And if you love truth, you cannot be deceived. You cannot, the soul that loves truth, that seeks emet, cannot be deceived. If you question truth, if you like to do your own thing, you're opening yourself up for deception. Hebrew word 8267 is shaker. Shaker means to cheat, be untrue, and to lie. So shaker is specifically untruth in words. So we're going to talk about 666. The first 6 is this word is represented by wa. Wa is the sixth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And the word shaker equals 600. 600 is an upside down 9. 6 is the opposite of emet. 9 is truth. 6 is shaker. Now, shaker, that is interesting, the Hebrew word shaker, because you have the men who would shake your hand and take your land. The hand represents a covenant, an agreement. Why would you have an agreement, a covenant with someone that is shaky? They take the covenant and they make it a shaky. Shaky is lie. So the number 6 is lie. The first 6 is lie. The first 6 is not only lying, but is the lie. The second 6, let's go to the second 6. The 6th commandment says, you will not murder. When Yahweh Shua was having a debate with the scribes and Pharisees, in John 8:44, he says, you are of your father, the devil, and that he was a murderer from the beginning. Their father was a murderer from the beginning. He is the father of murderers. Not only is he the father of murderers, this came out of Yahweh Shua's mouth, but he is the one who drew first blood. He is the one that sat on the tree of Toba Ra and ate of their fruit. He is the one that took the first bite of their blood. Nimrod is the first to draw blood in Hashmayim. Remember, Nimrod shot arrows, he and his warriors shot arrows into Hashmayim. Yahweh allowed them to pierce the lambs that he sacrificed to cover Adam and Eve with. Those arrows returned with blood. Shaitan is the father of murders. That is your second 6. Because you shall not murder, the 6th commandment. What is that third 6? Our accuser, Shaitan, our accuser is a man. Isaiah 14:16 says, is this the man that deceived the whole world? 6 is the number of man. Man was created on the 6th day. So we see that Shaitan, who is going to be revealed, the whole world is going to see who he really is. This man who deceived the whole world, and we know man was created on the 6th day. We find that the beast is a lying, murdering man. So your 666 comes from lying, murdering man. That is your 666. How does this translate into our world? It translates into our world in terms of using Shaitan's glasses to identify the world. Using Shaitan's glasses to identify the world is deceptive. And he uses the 666 to calculate his world. Remember, Golab 13:18 says that to understand the calculation of the beast, its number is 666. It uses the word calculation. Let's use some calculations right now on how the devil says the world is. Okay, this is the devil's calculations. And I'm only going to give about 15 here, but there are many, many more. Per the devil and his Luciferian education, which we are compelled to learn, we are compelled to go to school and learn this education, which is free. So they don't make you pay for it because they want you to have this. Here's what we're compelled to learn. The speed of the Earth's orbit is 66,600 miles per hour. The Earth's curvature is 1 mile. The Earth's curvature in 1 mile squared is 666 feet. The Earth's tilt is 66.6 degrees. The Earth's axis of rotation is 66.6 degrees. The polar circles are 66.6 north and south latitude. The Earth's distance to the nearest galaxy is 11.7 million light years away. That's 11 plus 7, 18, 666. You're going to see that theme of 18 because it gets you 6 plus 6 plus 6. The nearest solar system, which is Gliese 876, is 15.3 light million years away. There you go with the 15 plus 3 equals 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. There are 1,800 confirmed new worlds outside of our solar system. This is per the double Luciferian education. 6 plus 6 is 18. Pluto is 18% of the mass of the moon. 6 plus 6 plus 6. Pluto's moon, Charon, is 1/8 the mass of Pluto. 6 plus 6 plus 6. The newest planet discovered, Proxima b, is 22 minus 4 light years away. 22 minus 4 is 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. The solar system travels at the speed of 828,000 kilometers per hour. 8 plus 2 plus 8 is 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. The sun is formed from the solar nebulae. 4.59 billion years ago. 4 plus 5 is 18. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 18 is your 6 plus 6 plus 6. Now, you can easily get out of this pattern of 6 plus 6 plus 6 by just changing the numbers a little bit. Why can't we learn or mislearn that the Earth is 4.6 billion years old? Then that would take you out of the 666. But no, the Luciferians is making a point. The wisdom of Shaitan, the calculation of the beast, is 666. So all these numbers must testify to that. The Earth's orbital speed around the sun is 108,000 kilometers an hour. 10 plus 8 equals 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. The total journey time from Earth to Mars takes 150 to 300 days. So that's 15 plus 3 is 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. Neptune's equatorial zone takes 18 hours to make one rotation. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. The planet's average rotation is 16 hours, 6 minutes, and 36 seconds. You can't make this up. So you got 1626, and at 36 minutes is your third 6. This is unreal. I'll do 3 more. There's a whole lot, but I'll do 3 more. The moon was formed 4.6 billion years ago, and that's about 30 to 50 million years after the formation of the solar system. 4 plus 6 plus 3 plus 5 equals 18. 666. Pluto's distance from the Earth changes from 7.3 to 4.4 billion kilometers. 7 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 is 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. And the Milky Way is moving towards Centaurus at a speed of 150 to 300 miles per second. 15 plus 3 equals 18. 6 plus 6 plus 6. Keep in mind that none of your 5 senses gives you feedback to think that the Earth is spinning and rotating and moving thousands of miles an hour, that we're wobbling and bobbling and jerking. You don't believe none of that unless you're compelled to learn that and to be taught that in school for years. And your parents were taught that, and their parents. So then you live life under the glasses of the Luciferians, 666, to believe this stuff. This is garbage. Yahweh created the earth. You want your 6? Yahweh created the earth in 6 days. There's your 6. But Shaitan keeps that 6 perpetually. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, with no rest. Because on the 7th day, Yahweh rested. With Shaitan 666, there is no rest. This is why the lake is prepared for them, and they will not enter into Yahweh's rest. Those who of Hashatan and his Luciferian hordes who go along with these Luciferian glasses of 666. Yah created the earth. Now it was destroyed after Shaitan questioned Yah, so he was thrown out and all those who followed him. As they landed upon the earth, yes, it destroyed the earth. Then Yahweh recreated it, the one we're in now. And Shaitan is right now, again, doing as he does, destroying it. He only destroys. He cannot love, he cannot create, he cannot lift up, he can only destroy and hate. He is creating a destruction of the earth right now in the lie of 666. 1 John 2:21. No lie is of the truth. You see, no lie is of the truth. All you need is one lie and you know that it's not of the truth. And you don't want to go that way. If Yahweh says the day starts in the evening, why are you going to believe the lie and say it starts at midnight? If Yahweh says the year starts at Abib, at the first showing of the green ears, in springtime when things starting to grow, why are you going to believe the lie that the year starts in the middle of winter when it's cold, January 1st? If Yahweh says his earth is fixed and unmovable, why are you going to believe that we're wobbling and spinning and rotating and gyrating? If you can't believe simple truths, you can't keep it simple, saints, you're not going to believe or understand the deeper truths that your spiritual walk should give you in maturation to understand deeper things. In my book, Yahweh Show Original Words, Original Truth, chapter 4, I have a chapter entitled Corners. I go into great detail about what the scriptures say of how Yahweh created the earth. What he says out of his own mouth, how he created the earth, and contrasted what Shaitan says in the education, the miseducation that we get. One example is gravity. Now, scientists have measured or weighed, estimated the tonnage of the waters alone, just the waters, to be 1,45, and then 16 zeros. Let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 zeros. I don't know what that number is. 1, 4, 5, and 16 zeros is how much just the oceans and the seas weigh. Now, talking about the rest of the world, the rest of the earth, just the ocean and seas weighs that much. And while this earth is spinning at thousands of miles an hour and wobbling and rotating, gravity, we're taught, holds that water from flying off the earth. Yet a humble seagull who's too bird-brained to understand anything about gravity is able to fly over the ocean effortlessly. No problems. Because they're too stupid, they haven't been to school to understand that gravity should keep them from flying. Gravity should keep your son from flying a kite. I should not be able to stand up because if gravity can hold that much weight down from leaving the earth, how are you able to do anything? Yet, in folly, and Shlomo said that wisdom exceeds folly. He learned that. In folly, we believe that without even questioning it. No, we don't even question the silliness, the folly, the foolishness, the stupidness of believing in something like gravity. There is no such thing as gravity. Not as they say it. John 8:12. I am the light of the world. Yahweh Shua is the light of the world. He's the X-Man. He is the crux of all emet, all truth. Shaitan is the crux of all shaker, all lying. Keep it simple, saints. Don't mix it. Yahweh Shua says, I'm the light of the world. He is the knowledge of it. He is the knowledge of it. He is the understanding. Anything else is confusion. John 3:19. This is the condemnation. And anything that's condemned has to be raised. It's going to be torn down. It's not fit for use. So here are those who are not fit for use. We were born, created to praise Yahweh, to be fruitful in him. The first commandment given to Adam and Eve was to be fruitful. But if you're condemned, you cannot be fruitful. You're not inhabitable. You're worthless. So this is what he says, that this is the condemnation. These are those who are not fit. That light has come into the world. Yahweh Shua says, I am light. And the men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. See? They rather have darkness. They rather have lies. They rather believe the earth is spinning and is a globe. It's a ball, even though that makes no sense. You can't even have an east and a west, and north and a south if you have a ball. Where's east, north, south, and west? You can't have one. Where's the beginning? Where's the end? If the earth is a ball, you can only have it if it's a flat. But men love darkness. And the more educated they are, the darker they get in their understanding. The more confused they get. The man's education is the biggest barrier to the enlightenment of Yahweh. 666. The glasses of Shaitan is the barrier of Yahweh, of the knowledge of Yahweh Shua. And the more of the knowledge of this world you get, that he gives you, the more you're drawn back from the knowledge and awareness and the truth of Yahweh. So for a righteous person, a Sadiq person who goes to higher learning education, you're going to have to answer the Luciferian's questions as they give them to you, so you can pass and get your degree. But in wisdom, you use that wisely to increase the knowledge of Yahweh, to send forth his kingdom. Yes, we do go to school, we do learn things. You're going to have to answer those questions untruthfully, because that's the only way you can pass and get your degree, to walk down the aisle. Once you get your degree, just like when you got your car, you drove the way you wanted to drive. But when you was getting your license, you drove the way they told you to drive. You want to be a doctor, you be one. Hallelujah. I wish I could have been one. But you realize that once you get it, you teach Yahweh. You teach Yahweh in the simplicity of HaMashiach. 2 Thessalonians 2:11. And because they don't believe, men love darkness rather than light now. For this reason, Yahweh will send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie. Look at the scripture. It didn't say lies, the lie. There's only one lie. The one lie attacks the one truth, that Yahweh created the heaven and earth. You get the details later. You get the details as you have a relationship with him. And the one truth is that God created the heaven and earth. The one lie, that's the one lie, is that God created the heaven and earth. It only took the fourth word for him to start lying. And it's only one lie. And all those who follow that one lie with the eyeglasses of their experiences of how this world is, that one lie leads to the lake. All the other lies grow off of that one lie. Because they take the devil's in the details. They take all that scientific knowledge and all those calculations and all those long fancy words to follow what he says what the world is. They don't follow the simplicity of Yahweh. He said, stop. That means you run out to the street and you're about to get killed by a car. You stop. You learn later that he saved your life because a car was coming that you didn't see. He says, don't. You stop immediately. You don't touch the hot stove. You learn later that, hot hurts. As you grow older and you mature, I would have burned myself. I remember when he said stop, and I didn't. I stopped and I didn't touch it. You learn by omission. Like I said, you can learn two ways. You can do drugs and be strung out. You can whore around and catch STDs. You can drink and be a drunkard, or you can not do those things. Both ways you learn about being a whore. Both ways you learn about being a drunkard. Both ways you learn about being a drug addict. You can learn by not doing them, not eating other fruit, or you can learn by doing them. So, for this reason, 2 Thessalonians 2:11, that they will be given a strong delusion because they choose to believe the lie. It's a choice. Science comes from the Latin word scire. Scire is Latin. The Torah is Hebrew. Yada. Yada. That's knowledge. Knowledge, that's real science. Your five senses, when you use your five senses to examine the world, it only testifies of Yahweh. That's real science. Skia is lying science. It tells you the lies that we're taught today. It's okay for man to be with man, woman to be with woman. The children are running the earth. Count to 3 before you make your child obey your commandments. The folly of lies. I'd rather go with the Torah over the Vulgate. The Hebrew Torah of Emet or the Latin Vulgate of Shakur. Romans 1:20. Because see, Yahweh has a covenant with his people. You only have I known of all the families on the earth. He's only had a covenant with one people. So how can the other people be judged? They have not done anything wrong. They have not been in a covenant. But Yahweh has an answer for them too. Romans 1:20, and read all of the first few chapters of Romans when it comes to those who are outside of the covenant and how they will be rightly judged. Because since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even the eternal power and righteousness had, so that they are without excuse. See, by looking at a tree, you know that you can't make a tree. You can't even make a blade of grass. You cannot create an ant. You know, man cannot do these things. So something before you did these things, something greater than you, something smarter than you, you know that everything has been designed and organized. You don't see a car and think it just popped up. All those pieces just naturally came together. You don't see a building and think it just big bang and came there. You know, everything was organized and systematic. Everything you experience in life, you know, it has a beginning. You don't understand all the steps of the beginning, but you know it's a logical step and process to things. You know that. How then can you then say there is no creator? For those who never even had a Bible in their hands, who never read a word of the Torah, are still, Shaul says, without excuse. Because as you walk and live and breathe, eat and drink, all of the creation testifies of a creator greater than you. And it's your job to seek that creator out, to interact, to have a relationship with something greater than you out of sheer respect, like you want from your children of you, who don't understand everything about you as a child. They have to grow and learn of you. But you don't wait till they grow and learn of you before they have to obey you and respect you. From the moment they are born, you instruct them, you teach them. They obey and learn and grow and learn more of you. This is KISS. Keep it simple, saints. You will not understand here is wisdom unless you KISS. Unless you keep it simple, saints. Psalm 19:1-3. The heavens declare the honor of Yahweh, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. There is no speech, nor language where their voice is not heard. That means every man, woman, child on the earth, no matter what they speak, where they come from, has no excuse. The whole earth testifies. All the creation testifies of Yah. What's the problem? Genesis 1:1. So we see Israel is going to be judged by their relationship with the covenant. But Esau is going to be judged by Yahweh for the knowledge he has and for not abiding by it. Esau was not covenanted, but he still knew the Torah and he still understands the earth. yet he seeks to destroy it. And then you have the third group. Those are the Shaitan and the fallen so-called angels, the fallen angels. They get their judgment. 3 different judgments, 3 different groups. That's why the holy city will be divided in 3 different ways with the earthquake. We're wrapping it up now. Go like 11:18. The nations were angry, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that they should reward your servants, the prophets, and the saints, and those who reverence your name, small and great, and should destroy those who destroy the earth. See, Yahweh's going to destroy those who destroy the earth. Who's destroying the earth? It ain't you, it ain't me. We cannot pollute the water. They're polluting the water. The air is polluted. All the food is polluted. All the animals are polluted. Who's making weapons of mass destruction? It's going to take 7 years continuous burning just to destroy the weapons of mass destruction that man has made. Who's making those weapons? It ain't your poor little Hebrew Israelite brother or sister. No, it's not. And Yahweh says right here in Golai 11:18, he will destroy those who destroy his earth. Wouldn't you do the same? You have an art opening, somebody comes in there and tears up your art, destroys it. You're not going to call the law and say, arrest this person. You're not going to seek full retribution for it. Yahweh is going to give full retribution for those who are destroying his earth, because his earth testifies of him. It speaks to him, who he is, his might, his honor, his love. His love. See, acknowledging that this is his earth and not yours, that's the beginning. This is his earth, it's not yours. And it was here before you got here. This leads one to admit, to acknowledge, to know that there's someone greater, older, stronger, smarter than you. As such, this leads to you naturally seeking that knowledge out, seeking who this is, coming towards it. Your children are interested in you when they're growing up. They want to be with mommy and daddy. This is before they get tainted with the world and their children and their friends. They want to be at your feet, learn of you. They want to know who you are. You're the one feeding them, kissing them, taking care of them. You're the one. And they want to have more knowledge of you. The beginning of Yada, is the understanding or the agreement in your mind of Yah. That's the beginning of knowing anything. You can't know your father. You're in his house and know him by saying, you're not my father. I think the man down the street is my father. I'm going to have a relationship with him. You cannot do that. Yahweh is Sadiq. He is your father. In spite of our whoredom. Proverbs, and our final scripture, Proverbs 30:4. After you've already acknowledged all this, you already acknowledge that, hey, there's 2 things, a creator and a created. Okay? And that I'm the created, and I need to seek out who is the creator. Now let's go to this wise king in Proverbs 34. He says, who has ascended into heaven? Not you, not me. Or who has descended? Not you, not me, not us. Who has gathered the wind in his fist? Can you gather the wind in your fist? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Can you bound all the waters of the earth in your garment? Gather all the winds of the earth in your fist. Can you do that? I know I can't. Who has established all the ends of the earth? Have you ever been to the end of the earth? Can you get to the ends of the earth? Do you know where the ends of the earth are? Who has done all these things? What is his name? What is his son's name? If you can tell. Wow. That's what this ministry is. YahwehForChristians@gmail.com. Yahonatan.we. This is the ministry. This is wisdom. This is the positive wisdom. 666, the mark of the beast, is the negative wisdom. Yahweh Shua is the positive wisdom. This is this ministry. I implore you to support it, follow it, like it, share it. Because Yahweh Shua is wisdom. He is the beginning of all knowledge, and in him is eternal life. Your Lord God Jesus Christ leads to lie, the lie, and death. Yahweh Shua HaMashiach leads to emet, which is truth, and life, life eternal. Until now, next week, I pray for shalom in your home, shalom in your dome. YahwehForChristians@gmail.com. Shalom, shalom.